instead of doubt clarification, we'll do something else. We'll do a recap of vectors that we have seen till now. Okay, recap on vectors. All representation, no unit vector, etc. Such things we will finish first. Unit vector along a vector a bar by magnitude of a bar. Is not. So if you know a vector a bar, then how do you find the unit vector along the vector? A cap is equal to a bar by magnitude of a bar. Or you could say any vector is a product of its magnitude as well as its direction. This gives you magnitude of a vector. This means direction of the vector. Okay, that is the purpose of a unit vector. So this we saw already. And then we saw laws of addition of vectors. Vector addition. In fact, even before addition, we saw angle between two vectors. Angle between two vectors means when two vectors are drawn co-initially, the smaller vector between them is called angle between vectors. Or when two vectors are drawn co-terminally, the smaller angle between them is called angle between vectors. Okay, this is not the angle. This is not the angle. This is the angle here. This is the angle here. Okay, when they are drawn co-initially, that's how you do. What if they are drawn successively or something? Say for example, if this is a bar and if this is b bar, then what is the angle between these two vectors? For this, what do? We extend one of the vectors. I can extend b bar or I can extend a bar also. My wish. Okay. If I extend the direction of a bar, this is direction of a bar, this is direction of b bar, and they seem to be co-initial at this point. The smaller angle formed between them is this. This is the theta or angle between two vectors. Okay. So that is about angle between two vectors. And next we saw addition of vectors. For addition of vectors, we saw triangle law of vector addition, where if you draw two vectors to be added successively, then the closing side of the triangle taken in opposite direction is called their resultant. That is a triangle law. Polygon law was just an extension of triangle law. If several vectors to be added or drawn successively, then the closing side of the polygon taken in opposite direction is called their resultant. And then we saw parallelogram law, and we use that for deriving the magnitude of resultant. Parallelogram law, when two vectors to be added or drawn co-initially, right? And then a parallelogram is constructed on them. Then the co-initial diagonal of the parallelogram is their resultant. So if two vectors to be added, a bar and b bar, let us say, are drawn co-initially and a parallelogram is constructed on them, then the diagonal which is co-initial with the given vectors is their resultant, a bar plus b bar, like that. Okay. And using parallelogram law, we also saw the formula for magnitude of resultant. If the angle between a bar and b bar is theta, right, and the magnitude of a bar and b bar are a and b respectively, then magnitude of a bar plus b bar is equal to root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. Okay. Or magnitude of a bar minus b bar is equal to root of a square plus b square plus 2ab into cos of pi minus theta, pi or 180 degree, whichever is the unit that you want to use. Okay, this, or square root of a square plus b square minus 2ab cos theta. Sir, if you can see the chat, can we say the other diagonal we draw with the difference of their vectors? Of course you can. See, that's a good question Balamurugan is asking. See, what he's asking is this. If I draw a parallelogram, see, if this is a bar and this is b bar, what we are saying is if you construct a parallelogram on them, then the co-initial diagonal is the sum of those two vectors a bar plus b bar. That we have already seen here. So what I'll do is I'll remove this. Let us not worry about this now. Okay. What Balamurugan was about the other diagonal. What about this diagonal, sir? What can we say about that diagonal? Now, regarding that diagonal, we have to assign a direction first. Do not say this diagonal. we have to assign a direction first. Let us say this is the diagonal, direction of the diagonal, and let me call that x bar. Okay. So if the other diagonal is x bar having the direction as shown in the diagram, tell me from the completed triangle, right, which two vectors are in succession? From the completed triangle, which two vectors are in succession? Which two vectors are in succession? You know succession, right? Initial point of one vector must coincide with terminal point of the other vector. So which two vectors are in succession, right? A and x. Very good. So a bar and x bar are drawn successively, and b bar seems to be the closing side of the triangle taken in the opposite direction. So by triangular, you should be able to say a bar plus x bar is equal to b bar. By triangular, we should be able to say that a bar plus x bar can be written as b bar, which gives you x bar is equal to b bar minus a bar. Understood? If I draw that diagonal in the opposite direction, same diagonal only, okay? The same diagonal, if I draw in opposite direction, y bar, what will be y bar now? Y bar will be nothing but minus x bar, or that is equal to a bar minus b bar. So depending on what direction you give, the other diagonal of the parallelogram can either be a bar minus b bar, or it could be b bar minus a bar. Understood that? So basically, if two vectors to be added or drawn co-initially like this, and the parallelogram is constructed on those two sides, then two diagonals are formed for the parallelogram. Okay, the diagonal which is co-initial with the given vectors is called their resultant, which is a bar plus b bar. The other diagonal is the difference between their vectors, which could be either b bar minus a bar or a bar minus b bar, based on what direction you kind of think. Okay, so yeah, so that is about recap. Basically, I think we have seen till this, and then I think we also saw resolution of vectors. No, we also saw resolution of vectors, components, and all that. If there is a vector of magnitude a and there exists a random line L, if the vector of magnitude a makes an angle theta with a line L, then the vector can be resolved into two components such that one component is along L, this one, let me call that x, the other component is perpendicular to L, this one, let me call that y. And we already saw that x is equal to a cos theta, y is equal to a sin theta. Okay, look at the board. When you are trying to find the resultant of, sorry, component of a along a line with which it makes an angle theta, then you say a cos theta. See, cos theta, when you remember the formula for cos theta. Cos theta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. So when you're trying to find the adjacent side of adjacent side of theta, you use cos theta. When you find the opposite side of theta, you use sin theta. Okay, I hope you understood. So we already spent a lot of time on this. So give your contact number, sir. Okay, how many times I should give this? There you go. Anyway, so we'll move on. Here are some questions for you. Okay, here are some questions for you. Try to answer them. I'll give you a total of 2 minutes for each question. Simple questions only. 2 minutes for each question. When you give an answer, give the question number and answer. First question. Okay, no answer from anyone. Really? Yeah. If there is a reference point A and there is a point B, position vector of B with respect to A means this. Okay. Position vector of B with respect to A means that as shown, A, B bar. And I have already told you, I think at least 3 times I have told you how to find A, B bar. Okay. I give names to these questions, these points. Let us say this point is A, origin is O, this point is B, and this point is C. Okay. I'm just giving names so that it will be easy for us to talk about it. So first question, if the position of a particle is A 1, 3, write its position vector with respect to question A, origin. With respect to origin, position vector means R bar is equal to O A bar. You're writing position of A with respect to O. So you write it as O A bar. How do you write O A bar? It's like A minus O. Okay, you have the point A, you have the point O, subtract O from A, and then assign I cap, J cap, etc. Okay, what is point A? 1, 3. What is point O? Origin 0, 0. So point A minus point O will be given you what? 1 minus 0 I cap plus 3 minus 0 J cap. So answer is I cap plus J cap. With respect to origin, it is very simple. I cap plus 3J cap, that's all. Okay, 1, 3. I cap plus 3J cap, sorry. I cap plus 3J cap. What is the second question? B. Question B. They're asking you to find position of the particle at A with respect to B. Position of A with respect to B. So they're asking you to find BA bar. They're asking you to find BA bar. What is BA bar? How do you find BA bar? Final minus initial, A minus B. Okay, OA bar minus OB bar. It means that is how you do. So subtract B point from A point. Subtract B point from A point. So how do you do that? 1 minus of minus 2 I cap plus 3 minus 7 J cap. Okay, this is equal to 3 I cap minus 4 J cap. Okay, for the second question, position of A with respect to B means BA bar. BA bar can be written as OA bar minus OB bar. So you have to subtract B point from A point. Next, third one, C. I mean question C. So find position of A with respect to C. A with respect to C means CA bar. A with respect to C means CA bar, meaning you are looking at A from C. So C to A. Okay. So CA bar. It is written as OA bar minus OC bar, which is equal to point A minus point C. What do you get? I'll write it directly now. Minus 2 I cap plus 2 J cap. Minus pan Vijay Rubesh. Subtract. Shravan. I think we uploaded last class slides in Google Classroom. We did. I think we did. Okay. So anyway, when you're, I'll tell you one more common mistake that people do. They try to write like this: minus 2 I cap, comma 2 J cap. No, that is not the correct way. It is a single thing. It's a single vector. Minus 2 I cap plus 2 J cap. No commas, no semicolons, nothing. Plus no minus. So you have to use that. Sir, are we subtracting only because it is good when? Because it is good when in Cartesian plane. I don't understand your question, Devdarshan. Okay, second question. Second question. A particle moves from point P 3, 4 to point Q 6, minus 2. What is its displacement vector? As we have already seen, displacement vector is nothing but change in position vector. R2 bar minus R1 bar. What is R2? Second, what is the final point? Q. OQ bar minus, what is the initial point? P. OP bar. Okay. OQ bar minus OP bar is what? 6 minus 3. 3I cap minus 2 minus 4 minus 6 J cap. That's all. Rupesh, time, plus minus. Be careful with plus minus. Subtracting is because of concept. The points are in Cartesian plane. Yes, of course, this is Cartesian form. Writing a vector in ijk form using ijk vectors is called Cartesian form. Ai cap plus bj cap plus ck cap is the general Cartesian form of a vector, special vector. These are all planar vectors because there is no k cap, no third dimension, only one dimension, 2 dimensions are there. Okay. So second question, it is answer. Displacement vector is 3I cap minus 6j cap. Okay. Sometimes there might be a question to ask, what is its displacement? Instead of saying vector, they may ask you what is displacement. Displacement would be magnitude of displacement vector as here. Okay, so magnitude of displacement is not asked. We are still doing it. So what is magnitude of this vector? Magnitude of 3I cap minus 6j cap. How do you find it? Root of 3 square plus 6 square. Sir, minus 6 is there. No, minus 6 whole square and plus 6 square, both are same only. When you square something, minus gets like becomes positive. Okay. So square root of 3 square plus 6 square, which is equal to root of 45 units. This is the displacement vector, which is nothing but the length of the line joining these 2 points. From coordinate system chapter in coordinate geometry chapter, you know that formula. Root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. That will give you this, root 45. When you're answering or when you're asking a question, doubt karke, mention the question that you want to discuss or mention the question number that you are saying the answer to. Okay. Otherwise, how will I be able to do that? Yeah? Understand you? Sir, so the magnitude of displacement vectors are never zero. If there is a displacement, it will not be zero. Very well. If a particle does not move or if it comes back to the same point, what is the displacement of the particle from point P to point P? Zero. Nagarjuna asks, sir, how OQ bar minus OP bar is equal to 3I cap plus 6J cap? OQ minus OP. 6 minus 3 is 3. Minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. Second question. We are doing OQ minus OP, right? What is OQ? What is point Q minus point P? 6 minus 3. 3. Minus 2 minus 4. Minus 6. Very well. You mean to ask if the vectors can never be negative. Displacement can never be negative. Acceleration can never be negative. Vector quantities can never have negative magnitude. In any question or numerical or in any book, if you see someone says displacement equal to minus 10, that minus is only for direction, not for magnitude. Kaushik, if you are looking for explanation for second question, no, I cannot do it. Sorry, there has been enough explanation. This is like very, very small thing. 6 minus 3 is 3 and minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. How difficult it can be that? You understand? The first one, point A minus point O, point A minus point B, and point A minus point C. Pranav, sir, we can't write OP minus OQ. OP minus OQ, can we write or not? He's asking. If this is final and if this is initial, you can write it. But in that question, what is initial point and what is final point? Initial point is P, final point is Q. Displacement is always final position minus initial position. This is point P. If this is point Q, this is how the particle is moving from P to Q. So you're looking at Q from P. Okay. So this is O point. This is point O. This is point P. This is point Q. Let us say PQ bar is this vector. OP bar is this vector. OQ bar is this vector. Okay. This is OQ bar. This is OP bar. Sorry. And this is PQ bar. Now from this triangle, tell me which two vectors are in succession. OP and PQ. Yes. So therefore, what does it mean? OP bar plus PQ bar is equal to OQ bar. So from this equation, you get PQ bar equal to OQ bar minus OP bar. Understood? This will never be explained again. Kaushik, I think explanation for your question also is there. Third question. Balamurugan, it's right. Oh, no, I don't think it's right. See, what is third question? They say, read the question, okay? Third question, a vector has a magnitude 20 units and is directed along a line that makes an angle 60 degree with x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is the reference with x-axis. So start from there. Draw x-axis, okay? Origin. Now what they're saying, with x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction, a vector makes an angle 60 degree. So from x-axis, two directions are there. You can either rotate in anti-clockwise direction or you can rotate in clockwise direction. We are worried about anti-clockwise direction. So from positive direction of x-axis, you turn 60 degree in the anti-clockwise direction. This is 60 degree given. So this is the vector direction they are talking about. And there is a magnitude of how much for this vector? 20 units. Now this is given in words. Whatever we drew here has been given in words. Now we are supposed to write that vector in Cartesian form. Write that vector in Cartesian form. For Cartesian form, what are we supposed to do? Resolution. Okay, so x component is equal to, you have the magnitude 20. To find x component, you need to know the angle made by the vector with x-axis. So the angle made by vector with x-axis is 60 degree. So x component is 20 into cos 60 degree. Cos 60 degree is half. 20 and half is 10 units. Okay. Y component is equal to, you can either do 20 into sine 60 degree, or you can see what angle does the vector make with y-axis. This would be 30 degree, no? So you can also say 20 into cos 30 degree. Both are same only. Both will give you root 3 by 2 into 20, which is equal to 10 root 3 units. So this is in positive x direction. This is in positive y direction. So the vector r bar is equal to 10 I cap plus 10 root 3 j cap. Okay. Yeah. Vijay Rubesh, if you want the point, it is 10 comma 10 root 3. If you want to write it as a vector, you have to write like this. 10 I cap plus 10 root 3 j cap. But both are same only. Okay. Raj says they have given anti-clockwise, but you write in clockwise. Okay, in my house the clock goes like this. I mean, clock goes like this only. This is clockwise. This is called anti-clockwise, right? This is not the age you are supposed to know this. Come on. Balamurugan, if you got that, it's right. Sorry. Ashwin, sir, why you always using R vector? That is the universal standard symbol for position vector. That is the correct way of writing, Ashwin. No problem, Kaushik. Okay, so yeah, so these are the three questions I wanted to do. So we'll move on. I'll give another question, numerical. This is easy. An object moves eastwards at a speed 20 meters per second at an instant t equal to 0. It gets an acceleration of 4 meter per second square westwards. Okay. Find question A. Its speed after 3 seconds. Its speed after 7 seconds. Its displacement in no, yeah, same thing we'll do, or maybe change in 4 seconds. Its displacement in 6 seconds. Distance it covers in 6 seconds. Its displacement in 10 seconds. Time it takes to turn in its direction. Yeah, so we'll try to do all these questions. What is meant by I cap and J cap? Kaushik, I cap is a unit vector that denotes positive x-axis direction. J cap is a unit vector that is used to denote positive y direction. Okay, and this is a convention. Everybody in the world uses that. If you want to use something, you can, but there will be communication gap. So yeah. For how much time does it accelerate, sir? It has not been given, Balamurugan, which means it will accelerate for all the time that you have in the question. Okay, it has not been given, it accelerates only for some time. Vijay Rubesh, first question, correct answer. But yeah, Vijay Rubesh is correct. Satvika, first question A, correct answer only. But the problem is you don't have to specify the direction, ma. Satvika. They've asked you to find the speed after 3 seconds. It's not the velocity, just the speed. Speed is a scalar quantity. We don't have to mention direction. Yeah. Vidushan right, Amrin right. So to avoid any confusion, I'll do the convention here. Okay, I'll write the convention. This is the sign convention I'm using. This is a motion in one dimension question because the velocity is eastwards and acceleration is westwards. They are both on the same line. which means the direction, even if it changes, it only changes on a straight line. It does not deviate the straight line. Okay. So I'll only need this 2 dimensions. I mean 1 dimension, 2 directions. Okay. So this direction is I cap, and this direction is automatically minus I cap. I don't have to give it another direction, another name. Okay. So this is the sign convention that I'll be using in this question. Using these sign convention and these unit vectors, I'll write the given quantities. What are given? Given that what is given? An object is moving eastwards at a speed of 20 meter per second. They have called east as I cap and west as minus I cap. So they have what they have given is the initial velocity u bar equal to 20, magnitude is 20, direction is eastwards. Eastwards means I cap. So 20 I cap meter per second. Okay, this is initial velocity. And what is the acceleration of the object? A bar is given. A bar equal to 4 meter per second square westwards. Westwards means minus I cap. So it is 4. Direction is minus I cap. So it's not 4 minus I cap. It should be multiplied. Okay. So 4 into minus I cap. 4 multiplied by minus I cap will give you minus 4 I cap. Meter per second square. Okay. So do not think that A equal to minus 4 here. No. A is equal to 4 only. But A bar is equal to minus 4 I cap. See, this minus is for I cap, not for 4. That's what I said. Magnitude of a vector can never be negative. Even if it is negative, it only means a direction. So these two are given. That's common for all questions. What's the first question? Question A. Its speed after 3 seconds. So in this question, t equal to 3 seconds. And they're asking you to find what is V bar's magnitude. So you'll find V bar. What's the formula? We know U, we know A, we know T. To calculate V bar, I use the formula V bar equal to U bar plus A bar into T. You may say, so initial velocity is eastwards, acceleration is westwards. So I should put a minus. Don't worry. This is a universally correct formula as long as A is constant. Is it not? That's the only valid condition here. Now, whether I should put a minus here or a plus here will be taken care of by the vectors itself. I don't have to do anything. So V bar equal to, what is U bar? 20 I cap. What is A bar? Minus 4 I cap into T. In fact, T is actually equal to 3. So what do you get? 20 I cap minus 12 I cap, which is equal to 8 I cap meters per second. This is actually what? Final velocity. But they're asking you to find speed. So what is speed? V is equal to magnitude of velocity, which is equal to 8 meters per second. So this is what you answer for the first question. That is what you answer for the first question. What is second question? T is equal to 7 seconds. T is equal to 7 seconds. I will proceed the similar way. V bar equal to U bar plus A bar into T. So V bar equal to 20 I cap minus 4 I cap into how much time? 7 seconds. This would be 20 I cap minus 28 I cap, which is equal to minus 8 I cap meters per second. So this is V bar. So after 7 seconds, its velocity is minus 8 I cap meter per second. What does it mean? Its speed after 7 seconds is equal to, again, 8 meters per second only, not minus 8. For the second question also, the answer is 8 meters per second only, because you have been asked to find speed, not velocity. If you have been asked to find velocity, this would be the velocity. Minus 8 I cap meter per second. Sir, how do I read this and how do I read this? I read this as 8 meter per second eastwards. I read this as 8 meter per second westwards. That's the only difference. Get it? Okay. So that is question B. What is question C? In question C, I have T is equal to 4 seconds. And we are supposed to calculate S bar. What is the formula for S bar? Displacement. S bar equal to U bar into T plus half A bar T squared, which is equal to 20 I cap into 4 plus half into minus 4 I cap into 4 square. This is equal to 80 I cap minus 32 I cap, which is equal to 48 I cap meters. Okay, S bar equal to 48 I cap meters. How do we read it? Displacement of the object after 4 seconds is 48 meters eastwards. That is how you read it. 48 meters eastwards. Or if you want to find magnitude of displacement only, it is 48 meters. Okay. Question D. Its displacement in 6 seconds. T is equal to 6 seconds. Displacement S bar equal to, what do we get? U bar 20 I cap into T plus half into A bar, which is minus 4 I cap into T squared, which is equal to 120 I cap minus 72 I cap, which is again equal to 48 I cap meters only. Again, even in 6 seconds, the particle still has a displacement of 48 meters only. Girish Khanna, check your answer D. Raj asks, sir, how is it 4 in third subdivision? Very third subdivision. Where is 4? What 4 are you asking about, Raj? T. T is equal to 4 is given, Ra. Third question. Where are you looking at? Displacement is 48 meters. Okay. So fourth question. Question D also 48 A cap. Niranjan, what are you asking? In fourth, sir. For questions C and D, answer is 48 I cap. Okay, so what is question E? Question E is distance it covers in 6 seconds. Now, this is tricky question. Question E, they're asking you find T is equal to 6 seconds. They're asking you to find the distance it covers. Okay. For that, let us check out some timeline. Let us say this timeline, this is the time instant T equals 0. At this point, the particle is moving eastwards, this way. The particle is moving this way. As it moves, the particle already has a velocity u in this direction. It also now has an acceleration a. Sorry, it has an acceleration in the opposite direction a, like this, is it not? Which means in the east direction, the speed of the object continuously decreases. The object continues to move towards the east, but then it suddenly stops after some point. It loses speed. At some point, t is equal to, at some point, so many seconds, its speed becomes 0. Until then, it continues to move eastwards. In how much time does it stop moving? In how much time does its velocity become 0? V becomes 0. V is equal to 20 minus 4 into t. V equal to u minus at. If V is 0, then t is equal to 5 seconds. So it is in 5 seconds that the particle comes to rest. So from t equal to 0 to t equal to 5, the particle moves like this. After that, the particle starts moving like this because this acceleration is still westwards only. So the particle will now accelerate in the westward direction. Understood? The particle will now in this direction. So if the particle had reached here at t equal to 4, at t equal to 5, sorry, at t equal to 6, the particle will again reach there only. That is why in question 4 and question C and question D, you got the same answer, right? In question C, this was about 48 meters. In question D, what happens is the particle starts from here, goes all the way to here, and then moves 1 more second here. right? This is like 5 seconds and then 1 more second here. So totally 6 seconds. The particle comes back to this point. That is why you got the same displacement for uh, question C and question D. In fact, question A and question B also, at t equal to 3, maybe the particle is here. It was moving this way with a speed 8 meter per second, and at t equal to 5, it would be moving at the same point. It would be moving in the opposite direction at a speed 8 meter per second again. Understand why the answers are like 8 and minus 8 here, and 48 and minus 48 here. Understand why? Because they are all symmetric. Okay, t equal to 3 and t equal to 7 are symmetric about 5. T equal to 4 and t equal to 6 are symmetric about 5. That is why it happened. 5 is this. Okay, turns back. So now to find this question, in t equal to 6 seconds, what is the distance covered? How do we find distance? T equal to 6 seconds, man. For 5 seconds, it moves like this. And then in 1 second, it moves like this. So you separate the motions into 2 parts and then do it. Okay. For this, you find a displacement S1. For this, you find the displacement S2. Okay. For calculating S1, you have U equal to 20 I cap. You have A is equal to minus 4 I cap. And you have T is equal to 5 seconds. For S2, you have U equal to 0 because this motion is only from here. The displacement S2 is only calculated from here. So for S2, U equal to 0. A is equal to minus 4 I cap. And T is equal to 1 second. Understood? So what will be S1 bar? S1 bar equal to 20 I cap into 5 plus half into minus 4 I cap into 5 squared. So this is 100 I cap minus 50 I cap, which is equal to 50 I cap meters, or S1 equal to 50 meters. Okay, what is S2? S2 is equal to UT plus half it square, but U is 0. So this term will become 0. First term will become 0. Second term will be half into minus 4 I cap into 1 squared. T is 1. So this will be minus 2 I cap. Okay. So S2 is equal to minus 2 I cap. But that is vector, no? S2 bar equal to minus 2 I cap meters is a vector. What is the distance traveled there? 2 meters only, you say. Okay, so in 5 seconds, it moves 50 meters, and in the next 1 second, it moves 2 meters. So what is the answer for this question? D equal to magnitudes. 50 plus 2, 52 meters is the answer. Okay. Ashwin says, sir, why the acceleration is opposite side? It is given. What do you mean opposite side? It is given in the question. Velocity was eastwards, acceleration is westwards. Opposite. Raj asks, displacement is equal to time. No. Okay. So for the question E, distance covered is 52 meters. That's the answer. Question F. Okay, what is question F? Displacement in 10 seconds. What do we do? You're asked to find only displacement, huh? So don't worry about it. You can directly start. Displacement in 10 seconds they are asking. You can directly use the formula. T is equal to 10 seconds. Displacement S bar equal to 20 I cap into 10 plus half into minus 4 I cap into 10 squared, which is equal to 200 I cap minus 200 I cap, which is equal to 0. In 10 seconds, the displacement is 0. For question F, the answer is 0. Sir, why is it 0, sir? Can you explain from diagram? You see, you understood from t equal to 0, in 5 seconds, its velocity becomes 0, no? In 5 seconds, the particle comes from here to here. Next 5 seconds, what will it do? It goes from here to here only. which means in total 10 seconds, the particle will come back to initial point. That is why the displacement got to be 0 there. Okay. Question G. What is question G? Time it takes to turn in its direction. Time it takes to turn. What does it mean? Turning in direction means what? Direction of motion is given by direction of which vector quantity? Direction of motion is given by which vector quantity? Velocity. Very good. Direction of motion is specified by direction of velocity. And if the object, if the particle has to turn in its direction, the velocity should either become positive from negative or from, negative from positive, both, right? So that will happen when the velocity crosses 0. So v is equal to t 0 at t equal to what is the question. Okay, that is how you interpret that question. That is not directly asked. It's an interpretation that we are doing. Time it takes to turn in its direction. For a particle to turn in its direction, it has to come to an instantaneous rest. It has to come to a momentary rest, which means v is equal to 0 at that instant. You are asked to find what instant it is. V equal to 0 at t equal to what? We have already done that, no? V equal to 0 at what time? Answer is t is equal to 5 seconds. That is the answer for question G. Yes. Okay, Swati, I'll show all slides on Google Classroom. Huh? Swati, do you have access to the Google Classroom? No, why don't you have it? Okay, Swati, that is the Google Classroom la class code. Go and join it. We have actually, even I got memorized. I got it memorized actually. Anyway, fine. No issue. So this is what tomorrow, whatever happens, tomorrow there will not be any recap in vectors. We've already done it several times. Tomorrow we will do motion in 2 dimension. Tomorrow we will do motion in 2 dimensions. Okay. In that, 2 things we are particularly have to do. One thing is oblique projectile. Oblique projectile or oblique projection. Projection means throw. Projection means throw. And anything that you throw is called a projectile. You might have come across in the news and all. In Kashmir, projectiles were thrown towards the army and all that, right? So that's what it is. Projectile is an object. Projection is a process. The second thing is a horizontal projection. Okay, oblique projection looks like this. On ground, an object is, thrown at with a speed u, making an angle theta. So the particle moves like this. It's like kicking a football, free kick. Okay, horizontal projection, it looks like this. From at a height h above the ground, from this height, an object is thrown horizontally. So it falls like this. Okay, or maybe there is an aeroplane that drops a food packet. Aeroplane that is moving forward, it drops a food packet. When it is a dropped object, dropped object always start with 0 velocity with respect to the dropper, is it not? So if the aeroplane had a velocity u at that moment, then this package also starts with a velocity u horizontally. It will also fall like this. Okay. So we'll discuss all those things in the next class. We have more things to discuss, in fact, in this. There are concepts like projection on inclined planes. Okay. We will also look at relative motion, most importantly. We'll also look at relative motion. Okay. Under this, we'll talk about boat problems. Boat river problem, they call it. We'll also talk about umbrella problems, whatever. These are just names. Umbrella, rain problems and all that. So we'll see such questions under that. Okay. So this is what we will see starting next class. We will not see all of this in one class, but this is what we will do tomorrow. I think we will do only up to this much in tomorrow's class. This week we will try to finish the theory of motion in two dimension, but this Sunday you will have a test in motion in one dimension. Do all numericals from NCERT textbook. Check out all solved examples. You will have questions based on graphs also. Okay. We have uploaded all the slides on Google Classroom. Please go check them out. If there is an extra video already uploaded on Learnity Education channel, I will add those also to Google Classroom. Okay, Vignesh. What is it, Vignesh? Vignesh says bye. All right, bye. Patish, vectors completed, sir. For now, yes, Patish. Vectors is basically finished for now. But there is still product of vectors which we will learn in the chapter work for energy. Dev Darshan, derivation of equations of motion. I'll check it out. I'll see if it is uploaded. I think it might be uploaded. I'm not sure. I'll check it out. Okay, so the class is over. You guys can leave. I'm also leaving. Bye bye. See you. Post questions in one motion in one dimension. Okay, I'll add some questions. Okay, Raghavendra, I will add some questions in Google Classroom for your practice. We are going to use Zoom for tomorrow's class also, but I think the meeting ID will be different. Okay, Sudeshwar? Okay, bye. Yeah, bye.